morning, Martin.
Morning, Rachel. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you.
What was the message to the team after last weekend's draw? A very good performance. I imagine maybe a little bit of frustration that you didn't get 3 points.
A lot of frustration, but a lot to be happy with. I think we've been asking for a performance from start to finish, where I think we have pushed a big team, if you want to say, and I think we've done that through all the game. They had some moments in the second half, I would say, I thought we were deservedly the better team, but also we probably, if any team deserved to win the game, it was us with the chances that we created.
And I just spoke to Ernesto from London City. He said that he felt that Tottenham was one of the best teams in the build-up, and it feels like that is really clicking, that kind of marauding midfield. You seem to all go as a pack when you go forward, and since match day 14 you've recorded the most shots, second highest XG. It feels like it's, the last thing maybe missing a little bit is just putting it in the back of the net, perhaps. Yeah,
it's just that little bit of cutting edge, and I think the good thing is we're creating those chances, Rachel, and we're actually getting in good positions, maybe a couple of yards out from goal, and either the ball's not bouncing our way or it's not falling our way, and hopefully in the game on the weekend some of them start to drop to us. But I think we've done really well with how we're trying to play and trying to really stick to that. As you said, the way the team operate through the middle of the pitch as a midfield, but also the forward players, and you sometimes just need that ball to fall to you a little bit. And in the game it did to us numerous times, but it seems to get away.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. Chris Cowling.
Morning, Martin. Hope you're well. Team news for the weekend?
Yeah, everything's still the same as it was as last weekend against Manchester United, and then we'll assess a couple of players going into this weekend who have been out for a little bit of time, but hopefully we should have the likes of Beth maybe back for some time on the weekend, but we've got a couple of sessions left, so let's see where it takes us.
Martin, of course, you've faced London City twice this season.
Yep.
Two very tough games, so I expect you're expecting another tough one.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the game away, as I said before, I've alluded to before, thought we performed well with the ball, but defensively it wasn't great. And then we conceded, 2 transitions and 2 from set plays, which was disappointing. And then the second game we played, which was the one in the FA Cup, which was brilliant for the neutral, definitely. But I thought we performed relatively well in that game again, and then held our nerve at the end to win on penalties. And they've got world-class team, world-class players. They've started to get a lot of those players back, Chris, now who have been out for a while for them. And they're a team with a lot of depth and quality, and we know we have to respect them, but we have to be right on it the weekend if we want to get a result.
Of course, Martin, this week we've learned that 6 players will be leaving your squad in the summer. We got a very emotional message yesterday from Beth England. How has the squad reacted to this news?
Yeah, naturally you have players, because they're close together, they see each other every day, they work together every day. There will be some emotions, but I think the group is professional enough to know that those decisions are part of football, and that we have to now make sure that we focus on the weekend, which is London City, which is a big game for us moving forward.
How would you describe Beth England's time at Tottenham?
Yeah, really good. Wonderful captain, someone who I've got huge respect for, so committed, leads by example, and these decisions are never easy, Chris, but we have to make the right decisions that for us moving forward and what we're trying to build going forward. But she goes with our best wishes, and I have nothing but respect for Beth.
Lastly from me, there's been a number of fans questioning Beth England leaving, but is this another message from you to say, look, we're going and we're going to be ambitious in the summer? Yeah, exactly that, but this is everyone's entitled to their opinion. Fans can be entitled to their opinion. I know that. I know the job I'm in. I know the world we live in football, and they're entitled to it. But we have to make decisions that are right for us moving forward, and what I feel is right now. And they're never easy, as I said. But we have to make those decisions, and we're aligned with those decisions as a club. And as we're aligned, we move forward. But we also support Beth and make sure that we can give her the right send off come the weekend and Brighton also. Best wishes, thanks, Martin.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks, Helen.
Hi Martin, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Super duper. You just mentioned to Chris then about players coming and going, and we were all, well, most of us were in the one with Eden Meister just now, and he picked out a couple of Spurs players that he really rates, and that was Holt and Hermano. And looking at Hermano, is she the sort of player you'd quite like to keep if you could?
Yeah, definitely. I think Micah, we bought Micah in for a reason, Helen. She's got a lot of quality, and I watched her when she was in Sweden, so I knew what she possessed. And when I come to the club, we tried to find an opportunity where we could get players in that would help us evolve and progress with how we wanted to play and what we wanted to do. And Micah definitely fits that. She's a Chelsea player. She's contracted to us till the end of the season. And yeah, if there's a possibility to keep Micah, I'd do everything I could to make sure we kept her. But yeah, she's a Chelsea player when the season finishes, and yeah, we'll have to see what that looks like when we have those talks.
And do you have already got an idea? Again, probably you have touched on it already, but of the gaps where you need to find new players, because I think there's so many competitions now. It's more of a squad thing. It's not really a team thing anymore. So you need at least two in every single position, don't you?
Yeah, 100%, and I think that's where you need the depth, and I've said this since the start, you need the depth in your squad to be able to be competitive in all competitions. Whether you are in Europe or not, Helen, you need the depth now with the league now expanding again. That adds another 4 games. Then you've still got the Subway Cup, you have the FA Cup, so there's a lot of games to play, and throughout the season you'll pick up injuries here and there. So the strength in depth, but also the numbers in depth is key. But one thing I'm really big on is I don't want to just recruit players for the sake of having a number and a quantity. I want to make sure there's quality within that. And if I don't feel it's right to bring a player in, I won't do that. I'll wait till the right opportunity presents itself. But I think having double in position is very important for me, because it definitely brings another level out the players. It definitely makes you wonder if you're going to play or you're not. But also, that'll make us better as a team moving forward.
And also, one of the things that you've been doing it really kind of methodically this season, is trying to build up the fan base to get people excited by the way Spurs play, which I know when we saw we play against Man United, they definitely would. And I wondered if something, again, we mentioned it before, like the Sevens tournament, the World Sevens tournament, is that the sort of thing where you can get new eyeballs, you get a new kind of fan base built?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a different format. It's a different way of doing it. I'm playing a different format in a different competition against the same teams within the league, but probably brings out a different kind of personality and character in the players. You can have a little bit more flair and a little bit you're a little bit more open. And what it definitely does is definitely attract fans to the game in a different way, but also hopefully we can bring them with us on the journey we're on now. And the players being able to show a little bit maybe of what they always can't show in the bigger game format, where it's a little bit more kind of tactical and a little bit more structured. I think in the 7-a-side, when we play it in that Sevens tournament, will be interesting, because you're probably going to see totally different characters and personalities with the way they play.
And the last one from me is kind of about where you sort of stand in the league, because I think yourselves and London City are pushing for those top 3 places at the moment. And when you played Man United last weekend, you could definitely see the progress across the season. I think because you had such a fantastic January transfer window, as good as anybody's, I think, it's made a huge difference. So do you think you can realistically go for that top 3 next season?
Yeah, we don't go into any season. I don't go into any season wanting to finish any lower than first, but that's not being me saying I want to win the league. That's me saying I come in to win. I want to win. I'm a winner. I want the team to win. I want us to finish as high as we can and win as many competitions as we can. And yeah, we've shown good parts of our game throughout the season. We probably need more consistency throughout if you want to be in that top 3. And you also need to find levels of performance when maybe you're not at your best, where you come out with results, and not be on the back end of obviously big losses, which we have had, which is my responsibility. And I think moving forward, I think we can take a lot of confidence and belief from what we've done this year. And I have no doubt when we're at our best and we're really consistent, Helen, we can compete with those teams, which I think we've shown in a lot of games. But we've got to do that over a period of 90 minutes, and especially over 180 minutes when you play them home and away. If you want to be in that top part of the table, usually those head-to-heads with those teams are the ones that decide it.
Thank you very much, and good luck at the weekend.
Thanks, Helen. Take care.
Dan Pentland.
Morning, Matt. Martin, hope you're well. Just off the back of some of the stuff you said to Helen there, how do you kind of stay ahead of the curve? Because, we were talking about there, you've got that group in the top 3 or top 4, you've got and you're kind of hounding you, also wanting kind of that piece of top 3, top 4 as well. So how do you make sure that you kind of stay current and kind of ahead of the teams that are progressing slowly behind you?
Evolve the playing group is a big part, Dan. Make sure the playing group are evolving and developing, because if they're getting better, we're taking the right steps, and then you start to then get closer to that top kind of group of 4 teams. But then within games, you have to find a consistent level of performance against them. You respect them, but you don't fear them. And in those games, they're the ones where we've really got to show actually where we're at and how far we've come. But yeah, the development of the individual and the team is important, that we evolve not just with the individuals we have, but we evolve by recruitment and what we do. And then make sure our processes are more streamlined away from the pitch, so we can support the athlete and support the players as much as can, so they can maximise their full potential.
She's been around Spurs for quite a while now, making her a debut a number of years ago. But how do you feel she's kind of developing, and what's the next step for her?
Yeah, and I think with me and Leonard, obviously, I've had a lot of conversation, and I made sure that I wanted her to be here with us for this season, because I feel she's still got a lot to learn, a lot to develop. When you go out on loan, you don't always get maybe the same coaching, the same programme, the same attention, and the way we play is totally different to probably the way most teams will. My demands on the players are a lot higher, and expectations are a lot higher on the pitch. And you need your players to be able to be in your environment to see that. And I think if you look at Lena from previous to now, physically, technically, is in a totally different space. Tactically is a lot better with what she does. And I think if she didn't have this moment with us now and this season with us now, she wouldn't have taken those steps. And I think she's a lot now closer to the playing group and starting games and pushing, and we just need to make sure we got Lena rounded and more complete as a player for how we want to play. And I think she's took really big steps, and I'm really pleased with where she's at.
Brilliant. Thanks, Martin. Best of luck for the weekend.
Cheers, Dan. Take care.
Thomas?
Hi, Martin. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Just what type of game are you expecting this weekend against the London City Lionesses?
Yeah, competitive one, like the 2 fixtures we've had, especially like the last game, I think, in the FA Cup. That was a lot more kind of nip and tuck. It was a lot closer. The margins were smaller. And we were punished, both teams were punished for kind of mistakes or errors they made. And yeah, as I said, they've got a world-class team and world-class players at the top level who have now come back since injury, and they're starting to really click. And we know that if we're going to have to be on the end of a result that we want, and a positive one at that, we have to be at our best. But I expect a really tight game and a close encounter, yeah.
Yeah, and also just on the terms of the transfer window upcoming, how important is it, do you think, for Tottenham to be ambitious and to receive the backing that you need in order to make that next push into consistently challenging for Europe and titles?
Yeah, we need to be ambitious, and we will be, and we have been ambitious in this window. So I'll give you a little bit there, but I know the direction we're going in, what we're doing. The club, the leadership, the management have been really good in terms of the direction we're going in, and they're supporting that. And we know where we want to go, and by doing that, you have to invest, but you have to do it with a very kind of smart mind. You can't just throw millions at it and expect it to all change. You have to make sure you mould these players into what you want. It has to suit your playing style and the club philosophy. And we've made some really smart moves in this window. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to what we can do going into next season.
And finally, from me, obviously just 2 matches left and the 7th tournament. I just want to get insight in how important it is for you personally to switch off in the off-season. You know, is it possible, or do you just turn down? How do you find that balance between switching off but also still remaining active? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally. And I think it's a big part of something, actually, Thomas, I've worked on a lot, and something I have a really big focus on, of making sure I disconnect and objectively set myself objectives to disconnect. Whether that is through different sports, if that's seeing family, if that's doing certain activities that I enjoy, but also still having an eye on what I do, because, yeah, I love my job. I'm blessed to be in a position where I have a job that I actually enjoy doing. And I'm in a privileged position to be working for such a big club. So yeah, I try and find time where I do switch off for a few days here and there, but you still have to be active and really proactive in this off-season to make sure that when the players come back and when the staff come back, that we have everything in place ready to go for a new season. So I'll try and find time, but yeah, it's so hard to completely switch off.
Well said. Thank you. That's all.
Cheers, Thomas. Take care.
We'll go to George Sessions.
Hi, Martin. Good to see you.
You too.
Just one more on Beth. Obviously, the club needs to have got your reasons, but just sort of accept, given her kind of leadership, experience and qualities, it is a gamble to sort of let her go because, no matter who comes in, it's going to be hard to replace her.
Yeah, and every decision you make in football is a risk. Whether I pick a certain starting 11, I make certain decisions within recruitment. Every decision will hold a risk, but we're very aligned and very confident that we're moving in the right direction. We're building towards where we want to go, and opportunity then presents itself within the group that we have still a lot of leadership within there, and I maybe see leadership slightly different to other people. Experiences, obviously, Beth's had a lot of them, which she's been very successful with, and she's added a lot of value here, and she's brought that experience here from her previous clubs. And I think we have vast experience still in this room with Evelina, with Drew, and some of these players who have been top international players for a long time, but have also been around the game a long time. And any decision you make, George, is always going to be a risk, but I believe we're aligned and we're moving forward and we're confident in terms of what we need to do. And as I said, Beth's been a huge part of what we've done. She's played a huge key role here and she'll continue to. And I have no doubt in her future endeavours she will do the same. And as I said, I have huge respect for her and for what she's done for the game. And if you look at what she's achieved in terms of appearance and goal scoring over that time, she'll go down as one of the greats for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess from your own point of view in the club, it's probably easier to announce these decisions after the season, then you don't face so many questions. But how kind of important was it to make these announcements of all the players leaving before this final home game so they got a proper send-off? Yeah,
and I think that's a big thing for me, George, is maybe people don't see that, and it'll probably be likes of Curtis and Andy and some of the leadership around me that understand that. Is I want to make sure that anyone who leaves the club, they get the opportunity to say bye to the fans get to show their respect and appreciation to them, and you can do it at the end of the season, but I don't think it shows any sign of respect or any kind of courage to just do that, and I wanted to make sure that we allowed the players to do that, and I think it'll allow them on the weekend to do that, so hopefully they're happy with that, and they're never happy with the decisions, but I think they're happy with that they get a chance to say bye to the fans because they've built such a strong relationship with them over the time they've been here.
Yeah, sure. Just finally from me, and more of a kind of general question about the whole club, men and women's side. I'm sure you saw Jamie Simmons suffered an ACL injury last weekend, and that makes it 3 ACLs for the men this season, and obviously you had 2 yourself on the women's side. I know there was others last season, obviously before you was here. Have sort of, any yourself or anyone at the club kind of looked into why these LCLs are more frequent and looked to the training ground, or does it feel like it's more to do with the schedule?
Yeah, I think firstly I wish Javi a speedy recovery and hope he's doing well, because you never want to see someone in that situation, but I can only speak on our behalf, George, in terms of what we do, and we do everything regarding the measures we do for the players, and I think sometimes it's unfortunate in terms of how people land or how people do things in games, but I know that we have with especially Maita now, Ella's been through it and now Jess is going through the same. I think we have a wonderful medical team that support these players and give them every sort of confidence and belief, but also give them the right attention and care that they can recover. And you could point your finger at so many things, but you're never ever going to know what it is. And we're doing a lot of research as a club into it from a women's perspective. We're looking at ways we do things and how we operate. Is it training program? Is it what is it? Is it different surface and so on? So we're looking at different ways that we can do things differently. But I think it's such a hard topic, and I've said this before previously. You can't ever put your finger on it because you don't know what it is, and I think we'll always be fighting to try and find the reasons why. But I don't know if we'll ever find the actual reason of why it is.
Thank you. Best of luck on Sunday.
No problem. Cheers, George. Thank you.
Thanks, George. Charlotte?
Hi, Martin. Hope you're well.
I'm good, thank you.
Just a question for me about Emma Morris.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's returned from her ACL and she's back in the starting lineup. I just sort of wondered how impressed you are with her work rate to return, and also maybe at the end of the season, does it give you hope that she can be a boost for next season and play such a pivotal role in your defensive structure? Yeah,
and I think she's to come back and play 90 minutes in a big game at the stadium. I thought she'd done exceptionally well, and she still has lots to grow, develop, learn, and we know Ella's ceiling for potential and talent is high, and we need to help her fulfil that. And I think moving forward, I think she has really good opportunities now. I think she's got her own ambitions and her own objectives set at club and for national team football, and I want to help her get closer to that. And I think it's not putting too much pressure on her and just allowing her to play, giving her some direction with that. And I think hopefully moving forward we'll see the best of her. And I think overcoming that injury shows a big sign of resilience, Charlotte, mentality. It shows a lot of courage and belief that she's able to overcome that situation. I think the work I've seen her doing coming back from that injury has definitely helped her, and I think I've seen that kind of confidence, kind of enthusiasm in her performance against Manchester United. And yeah, it's really nice to see a player coming back into a game and playing a full game, especially after a long-term injury.
Thank you. And just with the departures this week, most of the players are more experienced, longer players that have been in the game. Maybe just wondered if it's part of your long-term plans to maybe bring in more younger players like Ella Morris, and the plan is to develop them and bring them to their prime. Yeah,
I think it's what we look at in terms of how do we look at experience, how do we experiences the moments you've had and the moments you've faced within football. It's not just based on your age, in my opinion. That's my opinion of it. You have to have experiences to feel them. And I think we have vast players, as I've said, still here. I think we maybe don't look at it that way, but Drew, Evelina, Molly, there's a lot of experience still in the group. Lisa Kopp, so there's a lot of experience still through the squad that can play a huge part in what we do. And a lot of these younger players especially have had a lot of experience, Charlotte, in international football, in finals. They've faced adversity. They've played at the top level against the top teams in different countries, in different tournaments. So there's vast experience in the squad, even from a younger perspective. So yeah, I think moving forward we have to make the right decisions, which I said we will do and we are doing going forward. And it's to make sure that we recruit the players and we evolve the squad and progress the squad to where we need to be and where we need to go. And what we want to do is make sure that is effective now and in the future, and we create longevity for the club and the team for its future also.
Thank you, Martin. Good luck at the weekend.
Cheers, Charlotte. Thank you.